Hey guys, doing it's Mike the Star Turtle. This is my review for Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. Sorry this is so late. I know this has been an extra day late, because I used to be going up on Tuesday when this first started. Now, then they were Wednesday, and now it's Thursday. And I'm really sorry about that. In fact, it might even be Friday by the time this goes up. That's not my intention. The problem is, the best time for me to do these reviews is right after I've seen the episode. So it's all fresh in my head when I'm most passionate about it. Problem is, I have to get up really, really early for a very shitty job on Monday mornings, so I really just cannot afford to take the time to do the review, especially after Game of Thrones is over, and I really need to start winding down and get ready for bed, because I gotta get some sleep. And problem is, during the week, it's hard for me to get into it. As opposed to the movies, the games I review are things that I've watched and played multiple times, and so I can take more time and I can with those things, those kind of reviews. I haven't done one of those in a while. I'm gonna keep doing. I want to do some of those pretty soon. Sorry, but so I gotta tell you, unless things change next year, I probably won't do these reviews again next year. But I am at least going to finish out the season. I'm gonna finish out the season. I can't promise they'll all be on time, but I'm gonna finish out. I'm gonna do this episode, the remaining 3 episodes of the season. But yeah, so spoiler warning, of course. And yeah, we're more than half through the season now. We literally only got 4 more episodes left. And I gotta say, this is a lackluster episode. Not much happened last episode, but except until the end, which I admittedly did not feel as emotionally impacted by as a lot of other people did, even though it was still a good scene. But this, almost nothing happened. This is all a setup episode, which wouldn't be a problem if I could binge watch this show and the season of this show like you can with shows like Daredevil on Netflix. But this week-to-week format for an episode or a season, those episodes is only 10 episodes long. I understand why they have to have episodes strictly for set up, but when you make it way a week and there's only 10 episodes and you gotta wait another year, it's really disappointing when and anticlimactic when you see episodes like this. It was still a good episode, it's like I said, I really wish that, and they won't at this point, not for this show anyway, but I hope from now on I think it's better if shows take a cue from Netflix and Amazon, just release a whole season at a time. It's better that way. Anyway, on to the episode itself. Sorry about that little rant, but had to get it off my chest. Well, this episode is called Blood by Blood, I assume in reference to the whole Dothraki culture in over the Narrow Sea. This is the last scene of the episode, but I kind of feel like it should have been earlier. And basically, get to see Dany sense her dragon nearby. After a brief conversation about Daario telling Dany, yeah, you're a conqueror. You realize that, right? And she's trying not to admit it. She doesn't even though she knows it's probably true. She doesn't want to admit it. Then she goes out to find her dragon. She doesn't say anything. Just says she's going to go up to do something. Just do something. Everyone hold here. And just when Daario is about to get impatient, go look for her. She arrives on the dragon, and she makes a nice little rousing speech. Although a lot of people are arguing that it's really just more of the same, and I kind of can't blame them. But it still needed to happen. But I kind of wish that we had gotten this scene toward the beginning and got maybe one more brief scene, maybe her just marching in Meereen with the dragon and the whole army of Dothraki, and maybe Tyrion just looking briefly as she enters the city and all that stuff. That would have been a much cooler way to end the show. Because again, another thing people are saying is the episodes are not as long as they were in previous seasons. So they could have added an extra minute and a half of that, just showing Dany triumphantly flying into Meereen with the army of Dothraki marching in, and kind of like that last shot at the end of that episode in, I forget what it's called, Season 3, that was a badass episode, or badass ending, back when he first got her in Solo. I think it was Episode 3 of Season 3, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Season 3. It's still a good scene, I wish it'd been followed up with something. It's a little too lackluster of an ending for an episode that was already pretty lackluster. But anyway, back to the very beginning. So Mira's desperately trying to drag Bran on that cart, whatever it's called. And she, unfortunately, she's a strong, capable young woman, but she ain't no Hodor. She can only go so far before eventually she just has to, she collapses. She tries, but she's got nothing left. She just collapses. And Bran's still kind of having visions. We finally get to see glimpses of the Mad King yelling, "Burn them all," and a few other things like young Ned, and as well as older Ned being beheaded, and a few other things historical shit from previous seasons. Some of them are blinking, you'll miss it. Yeah, I had to go back and watch it in freeze frame to see all the little brief flashes of stuff. Still no conclusion to the Tower of Joy. All I know is if they actually reveal all this, just the fact that it actually was Jon I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I think they should either have it be Danny, which would be a really cool twist, or have it maybe twins, Danny and John. I mean, they don't look any less similar than Jamie and Cersei. So that would actually be a cool reveal. I hope they do that. That would explain why Viserys hated Danny so much, because she wasn't actually his sister at all. She was just his niece. So anyway, but yeah, all that stuff is way more interesting than the episode itself. I'm sorry to say that. But the one legitimately cool thing that happened was, or like one really like noteworthy thing that happened was, Uncle Benjen is back, and he's got a really badass flaming flail thing, whatever it's called. I think it's called a flail, and he kills a bunch of whites in it. And then he takes Mira and Bran on his apparently badass horse that's able to outrun all those whites and lose them in the woods. And we find out that he was ambushed by whites and White Walkers. They almost turned him into a white himself, but the Children of the Forest got to him and managed to, by the same method they turned a human into a White Walker, they were able to stop him from turning into a white. And now he's kind of like half dead, sort of. They don't really explain it. But he is not Cold Hands from the books. Cold Hands in the books is a different character, and I assume when Benjen finally shows up in the books, he'll be something totally different. At least that's what George R. R. Martin says, anyway. Now, why Benjen couldn't have like shown up and shown himself to Bran like before any of this happens, I don't know. Some people are also complaining that the whole thing with him saving them at the last minute was one of those situations we don't usually see on Game of Thrones. Kind of like how we saw in Brienne and like in the premiere, just coming in the nick of the time before anything bad happens, just to save everybody, which is not something we really see on a show like this. There's usually no last minute saves on a show like this, so it's kind of a little. Ever since they kind of got out of the book territory, it seems like they've been a lot more cliche. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're gonna see more of that annoying play that everyone else except me seems to love and the hell out of. But I like the fact that we finally acknowledge it's pretty much all belching and farting except for the actress who plays Cersei. We got a nice little cool scene of her acting out the death of Joffrey. And, yeah, I like the fact that Arya finally made her decision. She's never going to be no one. We already kind of knew that, which means almost all this arc was superfluous. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Superfluous. But she decides not to kill the girl. She almost goes through with it, and she can't. And breaks the glass and says, yeah, watch out for that little younger actress who plays Marjorie. She was after your job. She's probably the one who hired me to kill you. But didn't tell her about the whole bottle, which she poisoned. I hope she gets rid of the whole bottle. Otherwise, she'll drink that and she'll die. And of course, the waif was watching her the whole time. She goes over to Jaqen / no one, but and says, "Yeah, she happened as I expected. So I guess I'm gonna have to kill her now." And Jaqen's like, "Yeah, it's a shame, but just make sure she doesn't suffer." Yeah. And then Arya just blows the candle out, is waiting for the waif. I'm not sure if the waif also learned how to fight in the dark as well. She probably did. So I'm not sure how much of an advantage it will be. We'll find out. I kind of wish we had gotten the fight scene this episode. Again, would have made the episode a little bit more noteworthy, but hopefully they'll make up for it next episode. We'll finally get that badass parkour chase scene we've been promised from the trailers. Oh yeah, it was interesting that it actually was the young actress, the rival actress who wanted to kill the actress who played Cersei. And not Cersei herself. That's what I thought originally, but apparently that wasn't the case. Anyway, King's Landing. Marjorie is, I think, playing the High Sparrow. After what last time we saw her and her brother, I don't think she buys into this. She's just playing them, trying to convince them that she actually does believe in all that shit. And she seems to convince Tommen, and convinces Tommen to pretty much convert fully into the faith. Even going as far as to make new faith-based armor for the Kingsguard. Of course, we didn't know that at first. It took some time. Mace Tyrell giving a very pathetic speech to his Highgarden bannerman, and James like, really? That was kind of funny. But they still got a decent number of troops, and him and Mace and even Lady Olenna all just march right towards the Sept Temple, whatever it is. I think it's called Sept. And just as Marjorie, it looks like Marjorie's about to do her walk, but she's not because her hair hasn't been cut. I didn't catch that at first. but the scene was tense and it looked like we weren't sure what was gonna happen. And Jaime's like, we demand you hand over Margaery. She ain't you in a walk of shame. Yeah, as much as we'd like her to be a walk of shame, 'cause we hate her. At least Cersei does. We know that if she does it too, then it pretty much cements the fact that the Faith are in control, not the Crown. And the thing is, it looked like the High Sparrow had the crowd. Like if the High Guard and Bannermen, if they ended up turning on the Sparrows and the crowd, the huge thousands of people behind them might have actually all swarmed them. And especially considering the fact that their backs were turned to the crowd, they probably would have been able to get all of them. Like they might be able to take a few of the civilians out with them, but they would have been overwhelmed. And in fact, even if they'd been facing the crowd, that many people, they still would have been overwhelmed. This might have taken out a few more civilians because they would have been facing them. Plus, they're armed with long spears, which might have been good at first, but once you actually stick somebody with it, you have to quickly maneuver it to get into a right position, so instead and spear the next guy. But that many people, that would have been a bloodbath, and I was kind of hoping it would be, because we hadn't really, like I said, not much had happened in this episode, but like then they reveal that Tommen and Margaery have been talking behind the scenes, and they see all the Kingsguard in their new Faith armor, and we cemented our relationship with the Crown, like. Whether or not that Cersei's being manipulated Cersei's manipulating Tommen, and that's why he's doing this, or if he actually was manipulated by the High Sparrow, maybe a little both. He's proven to be a pretty gullible little boy, so he probably, who knows. But at least for now, it looks like he's converted to the Faith. That's of course maybe it's possible this is all ploy by Cersei to get the Faith to lower their guard, get the High Sparrow to lower his guard, and then flip in and kill him. I still don't hate the High Sparrow as much as a lot of other people do. He's a fanatic, he's dangerous, and he should be removed from power, but I just don't hate him. I'm sorry, I mean, that's not very pro-agnostic atheist of me, which is, well, a lot of other people reviewers that I've been listening to kind of really hate him, but I still like him better than the Lannisters. I'm sorry. Like, people are still saying that he actually is just not. He doesn't believe any of that shit himself. He's just conning everybody. I still don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be proven that I might be proven wrong. Sorry, but I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. Although honestly, I have a feeling they're gonna end it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be dead at the end of the season. But I think they're gonna end it and like have his ultimately his true purpose or his true motivations be ambiguous. Like, again, it's probably another one of those cases where it's a little both. Like, he did want to manipulate everybody. He didn't kind of want to take power, but at the same time, he still took the Faith seriously. And he does still seem to care about the people of King's Landing and the people of Westeros, which is more than you can say for any of the Lannisters, who don't really give a shit about themselves and only care about the people to the extent where they want the people not challenging them. Beyond that, they don't give a shit about the people. They've already made that clear. Especially Cersei has made that clear many times and the Tyrells aren't much better. That's why I actually like the Sparrow more than them, when it comes down to it, because he does seem to at least care about the people more than they do. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it might be proven that he doesn't. That he's just as bad as they are. That he's not just fanatic. He's also a selfish piece of shit too. But until that's proven, I still like him better than I like them. That's just the way it is. I still like the religion part, obviously, but in the world of Westeros, that he's still a much more idealistic, well-meaning, and guy who actually done a surprising amount of good, despite all the crazy shit he's done in addition to that. Because I mean, look at all the charitable shit he did at the beginning. Like, he didn't. Even I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe he just did that. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but I don't know. All I know is everyone hates the High Sparrow. I don't, and I just wanted to make that point across. But I still admit that he's dangerous. I just hate everyone else, probably everyone else in King's Landing, more than him. He's still a homophobe. Like I said, I pointed that out myself. Anyway, but there was no bloodbath, and it is possible you'd almost question if he really meant what he said about all the faith, all the faith being ready to die at a moment's notice if they had to. Like, I don't know, maybe he didn't mean that as well as he wanted people to think. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything that happened in this episode. I'm trying to remember if there's really anything I'm missing. I don't think so. Like, yeah, I spent more time. I spent more time talking about the reasons why this video was delayed, and the High Sparrow's true motivations and stuff I would have liked to have seen, and instead of the shit that actually happened. This is probably the shortest review I've had so far this season for an episode. Like, there's no Jon or Sansa or Brienne and Pod or Ramsay or anything in the North. No Ironborn, no Tyrion and Grey Worm and Missandei and Varys and King's Landing. Like, none of that. Like, this might be the first episode in, I don't know, ever, but the first episode in a long time since there's been no Jon. Like, even the premiere of the season had Jon's body. I don't think we've seen an episode without him in it since, like, season 3. Maybe there was an episode where he wasn't in season 4. I don't remember for sure, but I don't remember an episode with him not being in there since season 3. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I already said I've been a long time since I've seen season 3. I don't remember for sure season 4. But anyway, and yeah, and I think I don't remember the last time there was an episode with no Tyrion either. This is the first time in a long time with no Tyrion or Jon. Like, that's pretty damn noteworthy. But so far this season is playing out very similar to season 5, where not that, with a couple exceptions, but not that much happens throughout. But then season 5 made up for it with those last few episodes. Like, those are some badass last few episodes last season, and made up that arguably three of the best episodes of the entire show that made up for the slower episodes before that. And hoping that season 6 can redeem itself a bit by doing that. We know about the battle for the North. Maybe there'll be another big set piece that we didn't know about. Like, they surprised us with Hardhome last season. So I'm really hoping to see that. Yeah, like I said, lackluster episode. Good episode, because there's no such thing as a bad episode of Game of Thrones, but as far as Game of Thrones goes, this is a lackluster episode. Like I said, I really, really would have loved a scene of Dany flying into Meereen on her dragon. I mean, they might still get that, but I still wish they could have just added it to bookend this episode. And maybe we got an excuse to see Tyrion briefly, so we still would have appeared. Again, sorry this was so late. I'm going to try to make it do better next week for the last 4 episodes of the season, but I can't promise anything. I do hope that these next few episodes are much faster paced and bigger shit happens. But all right, I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.